Okay, Rose, are you ready to get started? Sherlock, come here. Are you ready to get started, Rose?
Yes, was that him?
Yes, he is upset about something. I'm not quite sure what. But
That's always my dog, so if you hear him screaming in the background, it's because I'm not holding him how he wishes.
okay, so we are playing Sims today. Last time we just customized our character and got her moved in. And so we're gonna get started. The goal, we're playing the Black Widow challenge, and we think we have a grasp of the rules. I think so.
I have the rules absolutely nowhere, so I have no grasp of the rules.
Well, I think I have an okay grasp of the rules.
I show up and I cause problems, and that's my job.
Well, you're going to tell us a story today, right?
Supposedly. I could just be making all of this up. You guys don't know. Or maybe you go do your own research. I don't know.
But essentially today, the first thing, yes, okay, so we have a notebook. I don't think I've ever used a notebook, and we've got a household calendar. These must be new features or just features I'm not aware of because, oh, she has a birthday coming up. That's nice.
Did you put in her birthday, or did they just arbitrarily decide that?
Maybe I think they just arbitrarily decided that because we didn't choose a birthday. We can add events, maybe? No. Events cannot be scheduled more than 2 weeks in advance. We could add an event here. Oh, we can add like parties or different things like that. Like a keg party. We could have a keg party or a wedding, birthday party, dinner party. Okay, we'll need to have the dinner party at some point. But this first part of this is supposed to be basically finding her a romance.
Oh, well, I can't answer that.
A romantic interest. So yeah, so we're gonna maybe go around town and find her a romantic interest. So let's travel. And if you want to start off the story while I'm trying to find us a guy. So what's the story for today?
Sorry. The story is Catherine Knight. I told you about it and you said, I don't want to hear about that, so I'm going to make you hear about more.
I don't remember saying that, but then again, I don't remember who Catherine Knight is.
Well, anyway, you said you didn't want to hear about it, so now here you are.
Well, that's good. It's good that I'm going to get to hear about it, even though I said I didn't want to. When did I say I didn't want to?
Last week.
Okay, I don't remember it, but that's okay. So we're at the gym, because I feel like that's the best place to look around for maybe an attractive guy.
Anyway, just spoiler. Catherine Knight's the first Australian woman to ever be sentenced to life in prison without parole.
So we've got two guys down here.
Oh, we want an attractive guy, we want a rich man.
That's true. I don't know how to check their status as rich. When we get to know them, we can find out about their job. We've got... That's her training? Yeah, that's her there. We've got 3 guys in here. And is there anybody upstairs? Anyone up here? No. Okay, so there's 3 guys. We can get to know them and maybe find out, if they've got jobs. So I'm going to have her start introducing herself to people. So she's the first... Yeah. I'm sorry, did you say something?
But she's still alive.
Does Australia have a death penalty?
Correctional center.
Do we know if Australia has a death penalty, Rose?
I have absolutely no clue. I don't even know if our state has a death penalty. I know nothing.
The United States has a death penalty, and our state does as well. But the United States as a whole has a death penalty.
Does Australia have a death penalty?
I just wondered, when you said she was the first woman to be sentenced...
It's been abolished in all jurisdictions.
It has been abolished.
1985.
Nope, that's not what I want. It's been a little while since I played, so I'm trying to figure out where everything is. Oh, get to know. That's what we want to know. We want to find out about him and if he has a job. He's bored right now. Oh, okay, this lady came over here and is just going to box in the middle of our conversation.
Nancy's excited about fitness. Anyway, Let's talk about her early life. So her mother's name's Barbara. That's important because I refuse to refer to her as her mother the whole time. But her mom and her dad, they had 4 sons before she was born. And then her mom started an adulterous relationship with a man named Ken Knight.
Okay,
Can you guess where this is going?
They get married. He's unemployed, so let's move on from him.
Okay.
Let's come to, I guess we can come to this guy over here. Maybe we can talk to them both at the same time. Talk to Mohawk. And he's active. We learned that he's active.
Midnight was a friend and coworker of her husband.
A friend and coworker of her, whose husband? I guess I'm confused.
Barbara's.
Of Barbara's, okay. What we're going to try for this stream, I think, I'm going to say this real quick. I think we're going to try me just playing and her mainly talking and me just bumping in and asking questions about the story. If that's good with everyone, and we can see if that's a good setup and area, as opposed to me interrupting with statements about the game. If that's okay.
Anyway, so this was back in the 60s. So this was her husband was pretty prominent in town. So when the affair was found out, it caused a major scandal. And I think, you're thinking, how major? How major could it possibly be to cause this major scandal, as I put it? Well, they had to move out of town.
Just like they had to move out of town because of the scandal, but they didn't get divorced or anything.
I assume they got divorced, but they really don't cover that much, to be honest. But they had to move out of town. They moved from this place called Aberdeen to this place called Moree. I'm not pronouncing any of these right, but as you can tell, I am not Australian. But none of her four brothers came with them. Not a single one of those children went with their mom. They all stayed with their dad. However, don't you worry. Her mom, Barbara, had 4 children with Kent, which means she has a total of 8 children. And Catherine was the youngest of a set of twins born in 1955. So, I don't know where that puts her. I don't remember where it puts her in the list of siblings. But she has a lot of them.
Does her twin play a role in this?
What?
Does her twin play a role in this at all?
Not really. In 1959, so 3 years after Catherine's born, her former husband, who I don't know his name, died. And so the 2 older sons moved in with Barbara and Kent, which I'm now realizing can actually be shortened to Barbie and Kent.
I bet they noticed that quickly.
Anyway, Kent's an alcoholic.
Oh, of course he is.
What a nice man. He used violence and intimidation often. He often raped Barbara, and up to 10 times a day.
That's a lot.
So, real nice man, real friendly guy. But you know who else is friendly? Barbara. Because she would tell her daughters the intimate details of her sex life when they were children. Okay. And her dad is their mother.
Why are we getting negative hearts? Okay, intimate so she's just telling them all about that. Did she ever say why?
No, she did say she hated sex and she hated men.
Well, that's good.
Because she had a real bad time. Possibly because she had an affair and then had to move out of town, and the guy she had an affair with turned out to be a real jerk.
And is this her story, or it's about the daughter, right? The daughter's the one who the story's
about. I'm telling you about early life. Do you not listen to my titles?
I just want to... I didn't read the title.
No, I said we're going to talk about her early life, and then I started moving forward.
Okay. Snob lessons. I'd love to critique.
Why are we talking to Mohawk Man?
He is the only one I found so far that has a job and isn't married. The real fit one on the treadmill has a husband, and the other guy's unemployed. So I figure if we're going for money, this is the best one so far.
We can't marry married people?
No, we can't marry married people.
Oh.
But he's a fitness trainer. That's his job. I mean, we can go somewhere else. How's it going? How is it going in real life or in the game? In the game, I don't know. They keep getting negative hearts, so that's not, really the goal here. In real life, we're doing... What?
In real life, it's fine.
Yeah, we're doing okay. Rose is still getting over... Oh, they're having their first kiss. It's both of their first kiss, so he's never kissed anyone either.
That's because he has a mohawk.
And it's a blue mohawk, so that's lovely. So I guess it's going pretty good in the game. In real life, Rose is still getting over a little bit of her cold. I don't know why Offer a Rose is something that's so popular in The Sims, because Unless you're in the Bachelor, Bachelorette, I didn't know it was really a thing. Oh.
What makes her all in the Bachelor, Bachelorette?
The guy who has a husband just fell off the treadmill and no one seemed to notice but me. But I found that funny. But yes, it's going pretty well. How is it going with you? Well, that's we got quickly to that one. Yeah, how is your day going? But if you want to keep going with the story, Rose. Oh, it's going good. Good. We're glad to hear that.
We will continue with the story now, so we don't pressure you into speaking to us, which we know can be a lot.
Yeah, it can be hard to talk in the comments, but we love to hear when people talk and ask questions, so if you feel comfortable with that, feel free to do that.
Anyway, so Catherine says she was frequently sexually assaulted by members of her family until she was 11. Here's a key factor, though. I know you're thinking, I know which member of the family that was. Which member of the family are you thinking?
I'm going to go with the dad, who's already having...
That's what, you're wrong.
Who is it then? A sibling?
Not the father.
A creepy...
It didn't tell me who. It just specifically said not her father.
Well, that's odd.
But I say claimed, but it's actually been confirmed by psychiatrists, and the members of her family were like, yeah, that probably happened. So... it's not like confirmed, but like pretty much confirmed, you know?
I'm sorry, I'm moving the window around a little bit. I was trying to see if I could get it where it would actually capture the correct window. We still got some of this cut off at the top. I guess it's not that important.
Why is who yelling?
Why is who yelling?
Is Mohawk Man yelling at the treadmill guy?
I think they're just talking. And if the sounds, I'm not watching the stream. I'm watching our thing. So if somebody... like, or if you can, or seeing it, Rose, I don't think you have your sound on. If their voices are too loud, I can turn down the in-game sound, if that would make it, like, more clear for us. For when we're talking, or what it is. Do we know anything about this man? Where is he? Eric. Oh, he has a spouse, too. Everyone's married so far. Okay.
Anyway, Catherine's really only close with her twin sister and her uncle Oscar, who is a champion horseman.
Maybe the Uncle Oscar's the guy who's, you know, being inappropriate.
Well, let's hope not, because that was one of the only persons she was close with. But guess what happens anyway? He commits suicide in 1969.
Well, that's not good.
It devastated her. However, on an uplifting note, she says that his ghost still visits her.
Well, so, yeah, it's on an uplifting note.
I knew you feel uplifted by that. I knew that would just
uplifted.
However, she was really remembered by classmates as a loner and a bully. No one really liked her. She assaulted at least one boy with a weapon, which apparently could happen back in the days, and not go to prison for that. And she was once injured by a teacher who was found to be acting in self-defense. The teacher, not her.
The teacher was acting in self-defense from her attack?
Yes. She also injured one boy with a weapon. However, otherwise she was a really good student and often earned awards for her good behavior, except for when she was apparently injuring people.
And they were having to defend themselves.
Yes. But she left school at 15 without learning to read or write, so I don't know what they were teaching her in school, but apparently not reading or writing.
He left. Okay.
He didn't like it.
Our first interest left. We're going to try this guy. And then if not, we're going to ask the other guy out on a date.
Oh no, Mohawk Man.
But now we're trying for this guy who's here. Oh, a new guy.
She eventually started what she calls her dream job, as in she's been quoted as calling it her dream job at a slaughterhouse. Everyone's dream job, I know.
At a slaughterhouse?
A slaughterhouse.
Did they say what they were slaughtering?
Animals.
That's it? Just animals? Any animals?
I didn't look into it.
Okay.
I didn't want to know. And that's important.
He is single as well. But he doesn't seem to like us.
That's sad. Probably a black lipstick. He probably thinks that's inappropriate for a gym setting.
For a gym setting, but it matches our tracksuit. I was trying to get a good view, but I think she's shouting at him from the weightlifting machine she's using. He's a blogger for Walrus Books.
But anyway, she was given her own set of butcher's knives, which was also her dream. So she hung them over her bed every time she moved houses, which was a lot, so they would always be handy when she needed them. Yes, that is a quote from her. Always be handy when she needed them. So
That's interesting. But okay, if she's getting butcher's knives, that's a little bit more technical than a slaughterhouse.
but it is one. I guess she's high level. Don't ask me questions.
Okay.
I don't know those things.
I'm gonna turn
You
down their
go to
sound.
slaughterhouses on a regular basis.
Just turn down their sound just a little bit because it's getting to me.
Anyway, let's talk about her first romantic interest. His name's David. There's multiple people named David, but this is the first David. His name's David Kellett, actually. But I'm calling him David. Because we're on friendly terms with everyone here.
Mm-hmm.
So, David, we're starting out strong. David was a real hard drinker.
That's nice.
But let me tell you why, because it's incredibly depressing. So his friends and family attributed his hard drinking to watching his best friend die in a railway accident, and then watching the crash of a train and school bus that killed 6 children. And he helped remove the bodies and rescue injured children from that crash. I would drink too.
Was he like a rescue worker, or he just happened to be there?
He was just there.
Okay, so he seems like a nice guy then.
But he also witnessed his best friend die. So really, he's having a real bad time on the train problems. There's been lots of train issues in his life. Yet he continues working at train places.
No, I don't want to take a shower. I want to talk to the man in the shower.
That's a little rude.
I know, but I mean, they keep. Okay, what about him? You're partially dressed. Let's go ask you about your love life. Keep going. I'm just walking into different bathroom stalls and talking.
They met in 1973 at the slaughterhouse. You know, the place where all romances happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think also, this is just a side note, I think he also slept with her twin. When I was reading the Wikipedia article, they said, and I quote, he occasionally partnered with her twin after he began dating Knight. I assume that means he slept with her twin, but I'm not sure.
Don't people have like a thing for twins? Like there's like isn't that like a thing?
I think so, but it was a strange statement, and it really confused me because they really haven't brought up her twin other than saying that she was only close to her twin and Uncle Oscar. So I don't entirely know what this means. Also, this is the only time they bring her up. It just really confused me, and I didn't appreciate it.
I can understand that being unappreciated.
Either way, it was a strange time, so I think he slept with her twin, and I think she was okay with it.
I don't know what this means. Why has he got a thing around? Anyway, keep going.
Anyway, so Catherine was known for backing up David in fights, which, you know, good supportive relationship there. But she did it not with her words, with her fists, because she was known for physically threatening anyone who upset her. Very aggressive woman. Overall, just a little bit too much aggression going on there. A little bit too much aggression for society in that woman's body. She kept it all bottled up, and it was a problem. Anyway, they get married in 1974, so they've been dating for a year.
We just skipped right to that, didn't we?
Yes. Well, there's not a lot. You can't do a lot in a year, okay? There's not a lot you can do. Anyway, they pulled up to their service on a motorcycle, and David was drunk. I think he was also driving, so you know.
That's great.
Good time happening there. Anyway, Catherine's mother at the wedding warned David that he shouldn't get on Catherine's bad side or he'd die.
Oh, how nice.
That was her own mother.
That says something when it's not your relatives warning you, it's their relatives.
Anyway, guess who was right? Her mom, because Catherine tried to strangle David on their wedding night. You know, as you do. And what do you think the reason for this is? Why do you think she's trying to strangle her new husband?
I would think psychologically, because I'm, in that field, or going into that field, I would guess that it has to do with the fact that she's had some sexual trauma. But I don't think that's probably what she's going to say is the reason.
No, it's because he fell asleep after they only had sex 3 times.
See, like I said, I think it has to do with the sexual trauma. We're asking him out on a date. Hopefully the date will involve food because she's hungry.
That's it.
I'm hungry too, but I don't get taken out for food.
I'm sorry. Well, good. At least, don't strangle your husband. That's bad choices. Bad choices to strangle your husband on your wedding night. Sets a bad tone for the marriage, I would say.
Where did he go? We were supposed to go out on a date. I was supposed to ask him on a date. I don't know where he went.
Anyway, so then Catherine gets pregnant. But when she's pregnant, I don't remember what David says, but I'll get there. I'm sure I wrote it down. But anyway, Catherine burns all David's clothes and shoes and hits him in the back of the head with a frying pan.
That's great. That's good.
I remember. It's because he arrived home late after reaching the finals of a dart competition. And she said, "No, ma'am, that's not okay." So she burned all his clothes and beat him with a frying pan. As you do.
Which guy do you think? I don't, if you can see them, we've got 3 romantic relationships coming along. Mohawk Man, Gavin, and this guy who I don't think has a job.
Well, we don't want the man without a job.
So Gavin or Mohawk Man?
I feel like we have to do Mohawk Man because of his lovely mustache, which I couldn't see before.
Okay, we're calling him. We're asking him on a date.
That's good.
I hope it involves food.
Anyway, he fled to a neighbor's house and was treated for a severely fractured skull, probably from the frying pan.
So he said, yes, we gotta find a place for our date. Is there anywhere that has food? A frying pan's a pretty good weapon if you think about it. It's got a lot, it's got a good handle to hold it from. It's got a lot of weight to it. Oh, we'll go to the park and we'll cook. We'll cook out. And
that's good.
I mean, it's got a good swing to it. There's a reason it was used in Tangled. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
She used it very well as a weapon. And so does Catherine. Don't worry, this is not the last time the frying pan shows up. Anyway, the police wanted David to press charges, but Catherine talked him out of it, which you figure after being strangled and hit on the head with a frying pan and all of your clothes being burned, you might not be talked out of that. But in fact, he was. Anyway, he eventually left her for another woman after the birth of their first child, and he moved to Queensland. And she was diagnosed with postnatal depression after she was seen yeeting her child along in its little bassinet down the street.
I'm confused. What do you mean? I need more.
She was taking her child down the road in the bassinet, and she was kind of throwing her side to side. And,
like, shaking her violently kind of thing?
Yes. And people got concerned. So she was sent to a mental hospital, which might have been the right decision, but then she was released. So she placed her baby on the railway tracks right before a train was due and then went into town to threaten people with an axe.
Did the baby get ran over?
Been released from the mental hospital yet.
What happened to the child? Was he okay?
Oh, an old man found her. She's
okay, good.
Like, mentally, probably has some issues, but physically fine.
Where is Mohawk Man?
Does he keep leaving?
I don't know. I asked him to come over here because I thought, okay, we want to grab a serving together. Together. We need to eat together.
Anyway, a few days later, Catherine slashed the face of a woman with one of her butcher knives, her beloved butcher knives. She loves those things. And forced her to drive to Queensland to try and find David. However, the woman escaped at a rest stop. But I know what you're thinking. That has to be the end of it. The police came. But no, it's not, because by the time the police came, Catherine had taken a young boy hostage.
I'm sorry. I know it's not funny. But it seems kind of funny. I know it's not.
But yeah, she'd taken a young boy hostage. And she was finally disarmed when the police attacked her with brooms.
I'm confused. You're going to have to explain more of that.
I didn't get much explanation on it either, which is why there's a question mark after it in my notes. Because they just said that they disarmed her after attacking her with brooms. Which seems like an odd decision for the police, personally.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
Need to find out.
I think the police would use different... Do the police come armed with brooms in Australia?
I don't know. I mean, I assume that it's a little bit less of a gun-heavy situation than America, but I'm surprised that it's our next choices.
Situation?
Yeah.
But she was disarmed. Anyway, she was admitted to a mental hospital again. in which she told the nurses that her plan during this was to kill the mechanic at the rest stop because he'd repaired David's car, and then kill both David and his mom. So obviously this concerned the nurses. So the police went to David and they were like, listen, here's what's happening. Your wife, who you are not yet divorced from, has threatened people with an axe, put her baby on a railroad track, kidnapped a woman, kidnapped a young boy, and now told nurses that she was planning to kill a mechanic. And so, for some reason, David leaves his girlfriend and his mom comes with him and they go to support Catherine. I don't know what the heck was going on there.
They're very supportive, apparently. But at a certain point, it's like, maybe for your safety and for others' safety, you know?
We don't support her.
Yeah. Okay.
They did. So she was released into their care and they moved to Ipswich. That's not how you pronounce it. But guess what? I'm still not Australian. Nothing changed.
If it is Ipswich, I really like that name. Where is How Deep Conversation?
Anyway, I'm still not Australian, so nothing has changed in my pronunciation. But in 1984, Catherine then leaves David and returns to Aberdeen. So David eventually escapes.
Escapes.
I'm saying escapes because he definitely tried to escape and was unsuccessful the first time. Anyway, let's talk about her other relationship. Guess what? There's another David.
Is she into guys who are named David? Is that like her thing?
David and John.
What?
So we're only getting Davids and Johns today.
So maybe it is like a thing.
Anyway, this man's name is David Saunders, but I'm once again only going to refer to him as David for extra confusion.
If anybody knows where Kiss Passionately is in The Sims, I'd love to know because I'm not seeing it. Confess attraction.
Well, that's good. Well, that's exactly what Catherine did with David. Actually, she just moved into his home with her daughters in 1986, which is 2 years after she left other David. The first David. David the first.
That's going to be confusing. The first and the second and all that.
That's the only time you really refer to him as. You have to refer to him after anything. Anyway, but he had his own apartment in Scone. I'm pretty sure it's not pronounced Scone, but it is definitely spelled like Scone. So that is how I'm saying it. I have to be confident in these things, otherwise I would never get through the story. But she often threw him out of... He moved in with her, sorry. She often threw him out of her home. Just yeeted him out the door, said, don't come back, and then definitely he came back, because no one is smart in any of these situations for some reason. You're wondering why did she throw him out? Why didn't she strangle him and beat him with a frying pan like her first husband? I know that's the question you were asking. That's because she was often jealous of what he did when she wasn't around. Which, did she have any proof for this? Did he do anything weird when she wasn't around? I really don't know. Why is this man watching you?
I don't know. He came over. He seems to think he's involved. We're doing great on our date. There was a propose option. I don't know if I'm supposed to propose this early. I mean, this is our first date, but we are attempting to, murder him. So, I mean, should I propose? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know how the Sims work.
Well, our love is getting pretty... I think we have to fill up our love bar first, but, we're really close on that situation.
Fill up the love bar and then try proposing.
Even with this guy here. Well, we found out he's non-committal. That's not good for us. What do we know about him so far? We know he's non-committal and he's a trainer. That's all we know about him. We really haven't learned very much, even though we've been making out in the park for a while.
Anyway, back to David, the second David. So, in 1987, this was a year after he moved in with them, she cut the throat of his 2-month-old dingo puppy in front of him.
Is that a thing in Australia? That's really, really upsetting, but is that a thing in Australia, dingo puppies?
I have no clue, because aren't they wild animals?
That's what I thought. So maybe not. Why am I apologizing? I guess I'll apologize. I don't know why we're upset, but that's okay. But yeah, that's very. See that I don't. That screams serial killer. You know, maybe you've got mental problems.
There's more. Why do you think she did this?
I'm sure he.
Catherine.
Maybe he was late, or there wasn't enough sex.
No. It was to show him what would happen if he had an affair.
Oh, so he did nothing. It was just to make sure he understood what could happen. That's good. That's good. That's really great.
But then we have our favorite protagonist back. She knocked him unconscious with a frying pan. It's either the butcher knife or the frying pan every time.
I'm sorry, I'm still on the, he wasn't cheating, but if he did, I'm stuck on that part real quick.
If he did, this is what would happen to him. Anyway, for some reason, after that, he stayed with her. Don't ask me why. But they had a daughter in 1988, so this is Catherine's second child. They're both girls at this point.
We are
and they bought
smitten
a house
with each
together
other.
Because David II is a supportive, stable man who deserves better. That's what I've decided. Anyway, how do you think she decorated this house? What do you think Catherine's style taste is?
Apparently butcher knives over the bed.
That was featured.
I don't.
Do you have any of any of the other things that might have been on there?
I don't know. Past that, I'm not really sure what else needs to be said. I mean,
well, it was animal skins, skulls, horns, rusty animal traps, leather jackets, old boots, machetes, rakes, and pitchforks. And they apparently covered the entire house, including the ceiling.
Well, that's lovely.
And let's all remember, she has an infant daughter. And possibly a second one. I don't know if they let them keep her first daughter. I don't know if after she put the daughter on the train tracks, they said, no more daughter for you. But I think she had 2 children. 2 young children. And all of these knives and rusty animal traps all around the house.
That's nice.
Anyway, other things she did to David. She hit him in the face with an iron and stabbed him in the stomach with a pair of scissors. This was just, they were having an argument. You know, maybe I guess when he got knocked unconscious with the frying pan, it also knocked all the sense out of him. But anyway, he moved back to Scone. But he did return, in fact, and she had cut up all of his clothing into tiny little pieces.
She's a big fan of the clothing thing, isn't she?
Yes, she is. So he went into hiding.
A real quick side note on the game. So we're doing great on our relationship.
Yes.
I went in here because it said there was something special in our household inventory, which looks like it is a VIP bucket, which is good for our red carpet treatment. I'm assuming it looks like a bottle of champagne. But I also saw this thing that we haven't done that I don't even remember how to do, and there's no rules about it, so we can just pick freely, which is lot traits. So we might want to just decide those real quick if anybody wants to help with that, or if you want to help. Essentially,
well, what are they?
Well, we've got Breezy, which doesn't seem like it would help our situation. We don't care about our pets having more litters. Cat friendly's out. It makes it feel, it's this one we need. It's easier to practice charisma and basically get people there. What else have we got? Fast internet, I don't think we need. Dog hangout. Homey, great acoustics, natural light. Private dwelling, I think that'd probably keep people out. Study spot, science lair, teen neighborhood, training ground, and university hangout. So I think the others may just not be important. Maybe fast internet, I don't know. Maybe the breezy one, environment for exercise. And then you gotta pick a preference. Homey, maybe?
Sure. Does that increase cooking or something?
Oh, yes, it does increase cooking. That's good. Okay, that'll be perfect for us. Yes, there we go.
Anyway,
we don't
after he's stabbed in the stomach and he comes home to all his clothes cut up into teeny tiny ribbons, he goes into hiding, which is honestly the best decision he's ever made. However, she does in fact try to find him, because that's who Catherine is. But none of his friends snitched on him,
Good.
Which is good. She did ask. She probably threatened. But they didn't do anything, which is some supportive friends. However, several months later, he returns to see his daughter because he's the only supportive father in this entire time. But however, she had told police she was afraid of him. And for some reason, the police believed her. After they had to arrest her for threatening people with axes, they believed that she was afraid of him.
You know, they are the police who, stopped her with brooms. So there's that.
The police make some questionable choices throughout this. So they issue an apprehended violence order, which is called an AVO, against him. So he can't see his kid or anything until after sometime later. I assume he can probably see his kid then, because then they probably realize, oh man, he was not the problem. Anyway, we're almost to our favorite man, but we're to our first John. John the First. His name's John Chillingworth. There's not much about him. However, in 1997, she gets pregnant by John and gives birth the following year to her very first boy. So now she has 2 girls and a boy. And that's really all there is about him. That's important. Everything else doesn't really matter. And there wasn't like any stabbings or anything. So,
Well, that's nice that there wasn't any stabbings.
But their relationship lasts for 3 years. And then she leaves him for John Price, which is a man she's been having an affair with for a while, because she's allowed to have those. However, if David does,
his dog will be, well, yeah.
But yeah, she's been having an affair with this man named John Price. Okay, Edmund.
And Edmund was involved in the story? I thought there was...
No. Anyway, we're to John Price. At the time they meet, John's the father of 3 kids. Not her children, just 3 children in general. Supposedly everyone liked him. But people say that a lot about a lot of people, and I don't feel like everyone can really be all that likable.
Are you going to invite these people in, Edith, or not? Okay, we're going to stop breakfast. I'm sorry. Keep going.
He was well aware of Catherine's violent reputation. Yet, for some reason, let her move in with him and his 3 children in 1995. His children liked her, though. She was not mean to kids, which is strange, considering she was very mean to other people.
That is a bit odd.
But he worked at the mines. He made a lot of money. They were doing well for themselves. They had like some pretty intense arguments, but overall, an okay relationship by the standards we have set. However, in 1989, they fought about John's refusal to marry her. He didn't want to.
Maybe because he knows about her history.
Possibly. Anyway, to retaliate for this, Catherine videotapes items he supposedly stole, or guess what, he hasn't. And he sends them to his boss. And his boss likes John. But he can't really just let this go,
Mm-hmm.
So she gets him fired for this job. From this job that he's had for 17 years, and he made real good money at. So he kicked her out of his house. Because I guess he hadn't been hit on the head with a frying pan, so he still had some common sense left.
She'd beat it out of all the others.
What?
I said she'd beat it out of all the others.
With frying pans, specifically. Because the only one who wasn't beat with a frying pan was John Chillingworth, who didn't really have anything interesting going on with him. Anyway, for some reason, he takes her back a few months later. But this time, he says, "You cannot move in with me. No, ma'am. You stay in your own home." However, this obviously upset Catherine, because what doesn't? And their fights became more frequent.
That's
which
not good.
Isn't saying much with Catherine.
Well,
but,
it's concerning with her level of violence.
That might be true. So most of his friends said, listen, John, if you're going to keep dating this woman who beat two men with a frying pan, we will not be friends with you. So they don't. And for some reason, he does not take that as a warning sign.
Yeah, that's a life lesson. If your friends are all saying, this, then maybe you should think about it.
You remember that time she got you fired from your job that you had for 17 years? Yeah. We don't want to be around her. Well, too bad.
I like that she's talking to everyone in their nightgown.
You have to be confident.
Well, she's very confident. I mean, she's planning to murder 10 husbands. She has goals.
Anyway, it's February of 2000. That's only 21 years ago. Oh, look, there's some geese. There they go. Away for the winter.
Only 21 years ago. Okay, keep going. I don't know. I found that funny.
There's a series of assaults. I bet you're wondering by who. You don't have to wonder for long. It was Catherine. They culminate in Catherine stabbing John in the chest. Yes, again. This is the second husband she has stabbed. Well, they're not married. This is the second romantic interest she has stabbed. So he kicks her out of his house. Again. I don't know when she moved in, since that was apparently a steadfast rule for him. But do they break up? No. But he does kick. Why is that woman walking like that?
Well, I didn't see how she walked. Was it creepily?
Strange.
Sometimes they walk in funny ways. You can pick funny ways for them to walk. I wanted to find out if he has a job. Get to know, maybe. I thought while they're here, I might as well, spark up a new relationship to make things move along faster later.
That might be a good idea.
He does seem interested, though. Everyone else is...
We complain about you local youths. I like that. That's not what I do.
Where did it say that?
I don't know. It was one of the options. It was a while ago.
Oh, complain about the local youth. I need to know if he has a job. Oh, there it is. Complain about the local youth. Friendly. I just need to know if he has a career.
So February 29th. So last day of February. It was a leap year. As you can tell by the fact it was February 29th. I like to point out obvious things.
Thank you.
He took out a restraining order against her.
Mm-hmm.
Which is probably the best idea anyone's had. But guess what restraining orders are in real life? Pieces of paper. And that's upsetting to me on a variety of levels.
Just that they don't have as much weight?
Yeah, when, you really want to violate them, there doesn't seem to be much, protection.
I don't think there really is. I mean, from what the stories I've heard, and maybe it's just because those are the only stories that get told, they seem to be really hard to get, and, they kind of, if someone's going to do something, they're going to do it.
That's what it seemed like with this one, is... So, but he gets this restraining order. And that afternoon, he tells his coworkers, because he got another job, because he's stable, that if he didn't come into work the next day, it's because Catherine had murdered him. Which is not something nice. I would ever tell my coworkers. Probably because I would never date someone who I was sure was going to murder me.
Well, and the idea, I'm sorry, why go home? If you're that convinced that if the reason you're not going to work, it couldn't be that you're sick, couldn't be that something came up. If you're not in work, it's because she murdered you. Why are you going home? Why are you still with her? Why haven't you left?
Well, listen, the coworkers did say, well, why don't you just go home? They had the same question. Just don't go home. Don't do that. And he said, listen, coworkers, if I don't go home, she'll just murder my kids. And they went, she'll do what? And he went, I'm scared. She will kill my children if I don't go home. And they go, well, I guess that's a valid point, as she has not been shown to show a lot of care when children are involved, and her romantic interest has angered her since, she put her own baby on train tracks.
Yeah. I mean, that's when you were saying it doesn't get angry at the kids. It's but, I mean,
kids are sacrificial. when it comes to the romantic relationship, I would say overall, she is fine with the kids unless they're in the way of the romantic relationship or they're like in her way of her pursuing the romantic relationship. I wouldn't call her a good mother.
I think not. So we are here at the museum. I'm going to find a nice place, and after the date goes well, I'm going to have her propose.
Well, you picked a lovely spot. You could have picked the gym.
I thought about the gym because that's where they met, but I thought I saw these lovely pink trees. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be cherry trees or not, but I thought they were nice. And this is a nice little set-off place for her to propose.
Anyway, so he does go home, so his children don't die.
That's good for her.
However, when he gets home, he finds Catherine had sent his children away to spend the night at a friend's house, which is, I guess, considerate.
It's
so the children don't have to witness a murder.
Oh, but maybe she, like the last criminal we talked about, has a problem with the children witnessing a murder. Not the murdering, but the witnessing of the murder.
There's one line, it is, "I will not have children witness murder." And that's the only line. However, murdering children is a line she will cross. Because she tried to murder. I just can't get over I didn't know people actually put people on railroad tracks.
Well, not in this day and age, you'd think they wouldn't. He didn't like where I picked, so now we're sitting by the fountain. He had to involve this other lady in our conversation. Won't you come sit with me over here, man? I'm sorry, I'm just having problems.
It's because of his mohawk, and he's non-committal.
I'm hoping he's going to accept the proposal. Okay, keep going.
So, she wasn't actually at the house, though. But she sent the children away. So, I guess there's that, but she wasn't there. So he goes and he spends the evening at one of his neighbors' houses, chit-chats, probably says, "Hey, I'm probably going to be murdered
soon."
Just heads up.
Because, I mean, I'm sorry, has he not seen, and I know women, I was talking with a friend about this, about how women are more interested in true crime than men, and the studies that have been done about that. And I know women are. But hasn't he ever seen true crime? Wouldn't he think that maybe the fact that she sent the children away, she's not here, you know, maybe there's some afoot? Something
I don't know
happening?
if he just, like, accepted his fate. It's like a weird thing of, like, wouldn't you, you filed a restraining order, and then you kind of went, guess that's the most I can do.
Yeah, I'll just let everything else happen.
So, I don't know what's going on here. But anyway, he goes home and he goes to bed around 11. Catherine's there. Because when's she not? Anyway. Earlier in that day, flashback. Catherine had bought new black lingerie, which is an important detail that they decided to include via Wikipedia, and it felt a little strange. But she did. Anyway, then she videotaped all her children while making comments that basically are like a janky will. So she was planning on dying, I guess. I don't know why she had to videotape her children and be like, when I die, all of my gold goes to Susie. But she did.
So just telling them basically who gets what?
I think it's apparent. I don't think the videos are available, but I didn't watch them, and there wasn't a whole lot of information about them. But it's just like half will thing where she videotaped her children. And
okay, we've achieved our goal.
What?
I said we've achieved our date goal. I think it's time to propose.
You have goals for your date?
They set goals up here in the corner. Okay, we just got to get it back to propose. I don't know how it was up here before, but it was. So we're going to get into that.
Anyway.
Oh, here we go. Propose. I'll tell you when it's starting to happen.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. There's the proposal. She's proposing with this ring she had in her pocket. and
That
he's
woman.
looking at it.
Angrily walking by.
And I think, I mean, they look happy. There's not negative hearts, so I'm thinking he accepted. Yes. Okay, so they're engaged. This is good. We're moving right along schedule.
His name's Axel.
I hadn't been reading the name because I thought it might be Alex, but I wasn't sure, so I was just calling him Mohawk Man.
Did you really think Alex and Axel are similar? The letters are the same. They're in different places.
I have dyslexia, so I wasn't sure. I was confused. We went on 2 dates. I'm trying to figure out what else. Okay, because we've done. Want to make sure we're following the rules here. Of the Black Widow challenge. I think so. I mean, because it was meet Sim, build relationship. We built our relationship. We need to have a marriage. We've got no money. I hope you do, Axel. We are gonna want to have a marriage. I don't. We could elope immediately. We don't want to. We don't want to do that. We could. Let's see. I'll keep looking. Plan wedding event. Cannot start a social event while one is already in. Okay, we're still in our date, so we're just gonna keep having lots of fun on our date.
Y'all keep having lots of fun on your date.
So she's got this lingerie. She's prepared to murder, is what I'm hearing. She's picked out her death outfit, and is telling her will, is what I feel like could be the subtitles of this.
Yes. Anyway, she arrives at his house. He's already asleep. So she sits down and she watches TV for a few minutes, because that's what you do in your free time. When you arrive at someone's house and they're asleep, is you sit down and you watch their TV.
That makes sense, especially if you're planning for murder.
She took a shower.
Again, preparing to be murdered, or commit suicide, maybe.
And then they had sex, because that's all Catherine cares about, from what we've learned. That and putting children on railroad tracks.
See,
and he falls half asleep, which is a lot of comfort for someone who said, "I'm probably going to get murdered by this woman."
Yeah, I don't understand that. I've never been around someone who I thought would, with my murder was imminent, but I don't think I'd be able to fall asleep with them next to me.
Well, he did. And then at 6 a.m. the next day, probably the same neighbor. They don't say it's the same neighbor, but a neighbor looks out of their window and they goes, "Is that John's car? John's not supposed to be here at 10. Not 10. It's 10 a.m. now. But John's not supposed to be here still at 6. This is concerning. Especially yesterday when he probably told me, I'm going to be murdered tomorrow. That's concerning to me as a good human being." So then he doesn't show up for work. Obviously his employer, who probably also heard about the fact that he told all his coworkers, "Hey, I'm going to be murdered tonight," goes and sends a worker out to check on him. He says, "Why don't you guys go? Why don't you guys go and you check on that man who's probably going to get murdered?" So the employer...
Does he just go around telling everyone, "Hey, I'm probably going to be murdered," and no one does anything about this?
I guess when he says, "Listen, my children might die," they're not going to, be like, "Oh, I guess you can't go home."
I just thought there might be something, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I would react differently, maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, they knock on his bedroom window to try and wake him up. Guess what happens?
What happens?
He doesn't wake up.
Shocker.
So then they go and they alert police, because they go to the front door and they realize, oh wait, that's blood on that. That there's blood. That's concerning. So the police arrive at 8 a.m. I don't think that's that slow. I know it seems slow, but I think the neighbor waited a while and just went over when the worker showed up, because I think maybe he didn't tell the neighbor, "Hey, I'm going to be murdered." So maybe the neighbor thought, "Oh, John's just sleeping and he's got a day off."
I don't know. It seems like he was going around telling everybody, "If I don't go to work, it's because I'm murdered. If I don't go to work, it's because I'm murdered."
But the police arrive at 8 a.m. They find Catherine. They look at her. They find her comatose, because she took a large number of pills. And they say...
That seems like a, possible suicide attempt.
Yeah. They assume it was a suicide effort. But they go, "We don't trust this woman."
Good.
They find John dead. And they go, "Oh, we extra don't trust her." Make that times 2. Because he'd been stabbed with the butcher knives that Catherine hangs over her bed. I know what you're thinking. How did this murder go down? Well, let me tell you. The fun details I know you're waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
So, John fell asleep, which is once again a strange action, but he did it anyway. And he supposedly awoke and was trying to get away from Catherine, probably when he saw her standing over him with a knife. So he tries to turn on the light and he tries to escape. Catherine chases him around the house with a butcher knife. He somehow manages to get the front door open and get outside, and then he either stumbles back into the house or is forcefully dragged back into the house. He's already been stabbed multiple times at this point. So he finally dies from bleeding out. And then Catherine, early that morning, withdraws $1,000 from his bank account.
That's a mistake. That's always a sign that I feel like it's when bank tellers start getting suspicious. It's when bad things happen.
Oh no, it was an ATM.
Oh, well then they've got you the footage, Wait, why are we going down in our love? Why are our hearts going down? We're engaged. Why are you angry? I'm sorry, I don't understand what's upsetting. Why are we having an awkward encounter? Things have been somewhat tense. We should try telling a joke. Okay, we can tell him a joke. I'm sorry. I'm concerned. I like that there's options.
That he'd been stabbed 37 times. Okay, at least 37 times. That's what the autopsy said.
That's a lot.
Yes.
It seems like that'd take a lot of force behind it, too.
Well, she has a lot of anger, as we can tell.
I mean, she's got things to be angry about. It doesn't excuse it, but there are, she did have a rough upbringing.
But that's not John's fault.
No. Okay, I think things are better. We're doing better in our relationship.
Then several hours after he died, still in the early morning, because he died probably, they don't give me an exact time, but it's in the, like midnight to 6 a.m., obviously.
Mm-hmm.
She skins him.
I'm sorry, what?
She skins him.
Again, I'm confused. Like,
Skinless.
Just one more time for us. She what?
Skins him. He's got no skin.
All of his skin?
Yes.
How? Is this with her butcher skills she's learning?
Yes. She's got a flesh pile and she's got a muscle man.
Did they say flesh pile, or is that your terminology that you...
Wikipedia and the other articles I read said flesh pile.
Okay, I'm gonna need a moment while I recover from the image that flesh pile and she skins him have brought forth in me. Because good grief.
It's not funny. It's really not. Do you want to hear the other thing that she did with this skin?
I don't think I do, Rose. I don't think I do.
Hear about it, because she hangs this skin from a meat hook in the lounge room.
So, like, the living room?
Yes.
How well did she skin him? Is it still human-shaped, or is it just a piece of skin?
I don't have pictures of it.
I guess I'm gonna start planning their marriage, because that's the thing to do when you hear this wonderful time.
Someone says flesh pile muscle man ew. Yes, I know.
Yes.
I thought it really hit the effect I was going for there. Anyway, she hangs his skin in the lounge room.
This seems like the perfect background to plan their wedding to.
Of course. And then she decapitates him.
Oh, good.
I'm assuming this is his skinned head, but maybe his head still has skin on it. I don't know.
Okay, I need $1,000. I need to get a gold level reward.
Exactly what Catherine withdrew.
Say that again. Oh, yes, the money that she took, I could use that.
Anyway, so she decapitated him, and they find his head in a pot with vegetables. The pot's still warm.
There's another message.
She died when she did all this. Yes.
There's another. Oh, was she? Okay. Good.
He died from bleeding out earlier. But anyway, yeah, there's still warm pot with vegetables. But what does she do with the rest of his muscly body? The part that she skinned? Well, let me tell you. Catherine was nothing if not a homemaker. So she cooked him.
Nothing if not a homemaker.
Served him with baked potato, pumpkin, beetroot, zucchini, cabbage, yellow squash, and gravy. So a very hearty meal.
Served him to who? Just herself?
Don't you wait. Hold on. There were 2 settings at the table, each of them with a lovely little placard with a little name on it. And each of those names was one of his 2 children.
Oh, that's good. So she was gonna have his children come eat him.
Yes. And there was a 3rd meal that was yeeted onto the back lawn. And it's suspected that maybe she tried to eat it but couldn't. Or she made too much. I don't know. I assume once you've skinned a man, eating him doesn't pose as much of an issue, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. The idea of eating him. I'm trying to figure out their wedding venue while you're telling me this lovely stuff.
You figure out the wedding venue. Anyway, then she arranged the body with the left arm draped over a large soda bottle and the legs crossed. The remaining parts of the body.
I'm sorry, say that part again.
So she cooks, she's cooked part of his body at this point.
Mm-hmm.
She's also decapitated him.
Yeah.
So she leaves the remaining parts of the body and she goes, well, that just doesn't work. I must arrange him. So she sits him down and she drapes his left arm over this large soda bottle.
This is the skin part?
Legs.
This is the skin part or the meat part?
Pretty sure this is the skin part.
Okay, so she's just got this skin suit.
No, she's got the skinless man.
Oh, just the meaty parts then.
Yes.
That's good.
From what I've seen of Attack on Titan, like the Titans look like, is what I'm imagining.
I don't know what that means, but I don't need to look it up either.
Would you like me to send it to you?
No, I would not. I'm trying to decide where to go. I feel like the Rattlesnake Bar might be his thing, but then again, Magnolia Park looks nice.
Well, if it was Catherine, she would go to the Rattlesnake Bar.
We're gonna go with Magnolia Blossom.
Because the one time she did get married, it was on her motorcycle when her husband was drunk. If you remember, she's only gotten married once.
That's good. Good self-restraint there.
I'm not sure if she's ever gotten divorced either. She may still be married to him.
Just living with everyone else?
Yes. But, so, she leaves a handwritten note on his body. It's covered in blood and flesh bits.
Thank you for that description.
That is a detail they included, so I felt like I should. Anyway, this blood, it also has a photo along with it. They don't tell me what the photo is of. Anyway, this note is horribly spelled and took me about 20 minutes to interpret, which is probably because her school didn't teach her reading and writing, if you remember. They spent all of that time until she was 15 teaching her nothing, apparently. Well, how to hit people with frying pans. I wonder if that was taught. But anyway, the note claimed that he'd raped her daughter. I didn't find anything corroborating this, but I also didn't find anything not corroborating it. And, I think John was an okay dude, but I don't know. She hasn't picked winners before. So, is that what happened? I'm not sure.
I think we need to buy stuff, but I don't know with what money we're supposed to purchase it. Maybe we should have gone somewhere else. I'm thinking we should have picked a different location than the park. Note to self. Pick new location.
You just have to have drinks.
Yeah, but I don't know where to get drinks from. There's no drinks here at the park. I don't even think there's anywhere to get a drink from.
Can you buy
I could buy a bar and put it here or something like that.
Maybe do that so you can have drinks wherever your heart desires.
Okay, maybe we'll buy a bar then. We should have picked a bar.
Well, now we know we can only get married at the Rattlesnake Bar.
Okay, yeah, we just want a bar. I don't think this brought up the right things.
Well, don't you need a bartender for a bar, too?
We have a bartender.
Oh. We hired him and he didn't bring his own bar.
Apparently not. Okay, here are our bars. We just want something cheap. Okay, so this is the cheapest bar. We're just gonna get this. And place it somewhere around here. This is not gonna be the best wedding. Let's see, somewhere good to place
Really,
it.
all you need is a bar at a wedding.
Well, I don't know what the cake guy is gonna do. But,
There's tables we can set it on.
okay, so we've got the bar. Hopefully that's all we need.
Anyway, so did he rape her daughter? I don't know, but she basically says this is for my daughter. Which, I don't know how much I trust that. With her doing other things, such as putting her daughter on the train tracks to die. I know I keep bringing that up, but it really got to me. It got to me more than the fact she skinned him.
The train track, I don't know. I think the skinning is upsetting. I think that the shooting of the dingo is upsetting.
She didn't shoot him, she slit his throat.
Okay, that's more upsetting. The killing of the dingo.
Anyway, so there's obviously a trial, because obviously when they find this handwritten note in the skin suit and his head in a bowl and these two place settings for his children in his flesh bod.
Did she invite his children, or was she just waiting for them to come home?
I guess she was just waiting for them to come home from where she'd sent them off to, in which case they would see their dad's skin suit hanging from the lounge room in his decapitated, half cut up body posed over a soda can.
And they were just hoping.
An upsetting scene. And I don't think they would probably eat dinner at that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. She was just hoping that, they were gonna go, oh, okay, let's go ahead and eat dinner now. I know Dad's over there, but
it's also she prepared it this morning, so it's
stale,
cold,
old.
gross.
There's no champagne. What shall we order? We don't order something too expensive.
Beer.
I'll just order juice on the rocks. I don't drink, so it's hard to tell what to order. And you'd think there'd be champagne.
No.
There she goes, running in her wedding dress.
Running?
Yes, she run.
It's very important that you drink now.
She jog over. Anyway, keep going.
Obviously, there's a trial after they find this, and they find her comatose body, and they go, this sounds... The lines are all coming together, and they're all leading straight to you, Catherine. And also, she didn't die because she can kill everyone else, but she's not good with herself. Anyway, so originally Catherine said, listen, I'll plead guilty to manslaughter. And they all went, heck no, ma'am. That's not manslaughter.
Yeah, we've passed manslaughter.
And I guess she was assuming, you don't have enough evidence, but guess how, when you beat all your husbands like that, and then also left a note about, this is for my daughter, there's a lot of evidence.
Well, not to mention, the fact that there's a skin suit in your living room, ma'am. Can we discuss that?
What are these knife wounds? Oh, they come from the butcher knives you hang above your bed? So obviously, so she then enters a plea of not guilty to murder.
Mm-hmm.
And then for some reason, she changes the plea to guilty. And I have absolutely no clue why, and neither does anyone else.
Maybe someone got her to be like, hey, listen, lady, this is not going to work for you.
However, so the legal team that she had were like, listen, we're going to defend you. We're going to say you had amnesia and disassociation, which is supported by many psychologists that she did not know what she was doing. But they don't consider her sane, but they also don't consider her safe, if that makes sense. They're like, no, that woman has issues. But also, she needs to not be out in the world.
Yes. So did they send her to a mental hospital?
Wait. So 2 psychiatrists said she had borderline personality disorder. She might have more issues than that, but that's the one thing I could find. but they never give a reason for a change in plea. However, even though she pleaded guilty,
This is the wedding.
she
I don't know
never
where the
accepts
officiant is.
responsibility for the thing. She's like, no, that wasn't my fault.
Because she blacked out.
Yes.
What a romantic wedding they're having. I don't know where everyone is. Oh, everyone's kind of watching from a distance. I don't know where an officiant is. A beautiful ceremony. They're exchanging their vows. This man just walked through.
Where's the officiant?
Like I said, I don't know, but there's all these lovely people standing off to the side. We'll get an aerial view of the ceremony, you know, like a drone.
That's lovely.
Oh, look at the confetti. So there they go. They're married. Now they're wanting us to have a slice of the cake, which I don't know where it is. Okay, they can move in together use the split or move button, household management. Okay, we'll do that later. We'll have her move in with him and hopefully, you know, get ready to...
Hopefully he's got a nice home.
But cake. I don't know where any cake is. Has there been cake prepared?
Well, if you hired a man to do cake and he didn't prepare it, I would be upset.
I have a feeling this is the lady who's supposed to do the cake. She looks like a cake person. Like she bakes. But I have also a bad feeling because we don't have a stove that they're gonna be like, no, you can't make cake. We also
That's
need to
not
have...
normally how weddings work.
That's what I'm thinking though that they're telling me. We're gonna order water. I don't think it matters what we drink. We don't need... Why are we playing chess? No more chess. This is your wedding, lady.
Anyway, so she refuses to accept responsibility. However, she's sentenced to life in prison. To be specific, the judge thought she deserved a harsh sentence due to the nature of her crime and her lack of remorse. And I'm going to be honest, I agree. He also marked her papers as never to be released, which is not a mark that I knew people could do. I didn't know that was an option.
I didn't know that you could just decide that. I thought it was up to like review boards and different stuff like that, but maybe that's an Australian thing. I was looking for a stove, but I feel like it has to be an off-the-grid stove. So I guess we're going with this $400 one for the cake baker.
We have to bring our own bar. You have to bring your own stove. This is the most expensive wedding.
Well,
Anyway,
okay, it only costs $1,000. Go ahead, what?
In 2006, she appeals her life away. The appeal, obviously, was dismissed because everyone went, no, you're icky.
You think they said, no, you're icky?
World. You created a flesh pile and then hung it in the lounge room and tried to feed his body parts to his children.
Okay, we've made mistakes.
Why?
Because the stove, we can't cook a cake. I don't know if there's someone who's supposed to be cooking the cake for us.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't cook a cake because we don't have a fridge or counter space.
I think someone's supposed to be cooking the cake for you.
Well, lady, what are you doing just standing here?
But that's Catherine Knight. How does everyone feel about her? How are we feeling?
I'm feeling unhappy about her and her skin suit that she made. At least she didn't
make a skin suit. We can talk about the man who made a skin suit if you want. Would you like that to be the next case?
No, I would not like that to be the next case. I just
listen. You said, hey, let's talk about women who are considered Black widows, and I went okay, and I found this.
And I think it works well. Okay, now Eleanor is unemployed, so this lady is not our baker. Where's our baker?
Did we hire a baker?
I thought we did. They want us to have a slice of cake. Where's the cake? I don't know where it is. I'm looking at all the tables. Oh, look, a child is in the park. I hope he's enjoying our wedding. Okay, hold on. They appear to be having something. Are you having cake? Are you having cake? It looks like it could be cereal.
Who brought cereal to a wedding?
And it could be cake. What is this? No, it's chips. They're eating chips. Oh.
Oh, hi.
It's... I can't read it.
It's the guy from the group.
Oh, hello. Welcome. Welcome to our stream. We are playing The Sims today instead of Minecraft, so a little bit of a change for us.
But how do you feel about the woman? How do you feel about Catherine?
I feel very negatively towards her. I feel very, very negative. I'm glad she didn't wear the skin suit, but other than that, there's not much to say about her that's positive. Very little to say in the positive realm.
Who was your favorite man? She's really bad with names.
Yeah, I'm really bad with names. Eat food. We don't, what, okay, chips. I have dyslexia, as does Rose, and I have it worse, and I'm really bad with names. So if your like little icon that is in the Discord popped up, I would be like, oh, that's who. But I don't do the names. I do pictures, I do voices. What?
You don't read, you just have context clues.
That's right. I am, it's sad. I don't know where she just ran off in her dress, but
So you're saying, next case, you would like there to not be as much skinning and dog killing.
Honestly, the dog killing is part of what's so upsetting. I have a problem with the animal murder. It makes me
much more paused by the flesh pile.
Well, the way you said it was interesting. You know, it made me take a moment and think about the things you were saying.
I didn't know how else to refer to it, and I just said that, you know, she skinned him. How else am I supposed to say it?
They're wanting to know what we're talking about. We usually discuss true crime stories while we do different games, and today's was about Catherine Knight, if I'm saying that correctly.
Yes.
And part of her lovely story that that some people have been hearing is sexy pose. Yes, sexy pose is a thing. Is that she skinned her last romantic partner, which is lovely.
She had 4 of them. All of them suffered.
Wait, okay, I think one of this guy's traits, this is who I'm thinking should be our next romantic interest. Let me find him. Is he here? I'm trying to remember. Is that, yeah, one of his traits is bro, which I just think says a lot about him.
All of them? No, she did not skin all of them.
No, that would have been
She only skinned one of them. However, she did hit 2 of them with frying pans. So, you know. I don't know. And one of them really doesn't have any information about him. I don't know why no one cares about John the First.
No, she just thought about skinning all of them is what I would say. I mean, hitting them with frying pans, stabbing 2 of them, and then skinning one and preparing him for his children to eat. And I like the idea. It seems like she was planning on you know, not being there with taking those pills, and that the children were just going to come in from school or wherever she'd sent them to, and she's a yandere, and you know, sit down to a hearty meal and
yeah,
eat.
it was a real hearty meal. She definitely got their greens, she got the vegetables, she got it all in there.
But the idea that they're going to sit down and just eat it with the skin suit sitting on the couch, I don't know if that's where it's like maybe she was having a delusion. You know, that makes sense.
Oh, she probably was, but at the same time, when you're like preparing, you're like, okay, let me put on my lingerie and let me record my children and say my will. I feel like there's some premeditation there.
Oh, there was definitely premeditation. I mean, and there's also the background of, you know, she has clearly had intention to, you know, make her other husbands unhappy with, or her, not necessarily husbands, her other romantic interests.
There's only one husband.
Since she only got married once.
She knows.
So we're not going to get the perfect wedding because I don't know where the cake is. Next wedding, we're just going to have at our house with available space.
I think that's fine. I mean, they really can't complain.
I mean, I've been flirting with another guy the whole time while he's been hanging out I don't know where. So,
very supportive wife.
You mean husband? He's very supportive, yes. We're not as in love anymore. I wonder why.
Maybe because you've been flirting with another guy for your entire wedding.
But we were. I think the only rule is that you have to be full love before you get married, which we were. I've just been, you know, working on other relationships. Because once we get home to his house, which we'll move into and take over, we're gonna move someone else in. You know, so there's that.
No,
I haven't been reading the comments, so I don't know what the last one was in regards to. Oh, she's bored at her wedding, so that says a lot.
Listen, we didn't make her to be kind and loving.
Did you not wash your hands or something? Why is your hygiene poor? Get back in here. Here you come. Brush your teeth at this public bathroom.
What?
I'm having her brush her teeth so her hygiene's not so low.
I'm just saying Catherine would be proud of her. And I think that says something.
For planning to murder her husbands. That's why I think doing the Black Widow stories during this is such a good... That didn't get her hygiene up very much. Such a good idea. Okay, so we got a silver. That's okay, though. Okay, we need...
Yeah, this is a very... You came for a very violent episode.
Yeah.
Possibly not the best introduction. So much can be taken out of context, yeah. Yeah, it can. So, next time you would like... Do you want to hear about another person who skinned people? Is that the theme?
I don't think that's the theme. I think going with the Black Widows is the theme. I don't think we need more.
And people in The Sims. Is that an option?
I don't think so. Maybe there's a mod for that we could look into.
I mean, you can complain about the local youths.
Yes.
Is she cleaning, or she's playing chess on her own?
Yes, they do that. And now I'm trying to move households so we can get them together in his house.
Is his house nice, though?
I don't know. It's loading to get there. Build a wall. No, I don't know if his house is nice. He has a job. That was the only criteria we're going with for this first husband. I'm hoping the others will have more money. Yes.
We want rich man.
Okay. I want to move, yes, but no, I don't. Maybe I clicked on the wrong one. They said in
if copyright wasn't a thing, now would be a perfect time to play just the entirety of Fiddler on the Roof.
I don't think the entirely of Fiddler on the Roof. You could also do the Mamma Mia.
The entirety of Fiddler on the Roof really applies to this situation.
I mean, she's bored. I don't think it implies. I mean, have you? I don't think you've seen Fiddler on the Roof. Apparently, okay, maybe we don't want to move.
It really applies. You know, the tense relations between the Jewish community and the Germans. Really applies to this situation.
I don't think it does.
Oh, I think it definitely does. It's, you know, what else would apply to this?
It's only because they have the song If I Were a Rich Man. That's the only reason. And I think the Mamma Mia one applies much more.
I guess that works.
Imagine inviting the whole town to an introverted person's house without asking her. That's kind of what The Sims is. They just kind of come over. So, okay.
They are very rude.
Let's see. This is not where it is.
I mean, did you ever just come up to someone's house and hang out on their front porch until they let you in or said go away?
No, I wouldn't. But that's fine. Okay, so we can move them together and manage them. Household management section of Edit Neighborhood. I don't even know where Edit Neighborhood is. I don't usually move people in together.
It's like raid the houses with social interaction. That's exactly what they're doing. They're very intense.
Yeah, and they don't have much boundaries. I mean, there's no, like, locked doors or anything.
It really isn't an option.
And I think you can...
Hard in this or easy. If everyone's just coming in and out of your house, I mean...
Well, I think you can, like, lock doors to certain people or everyone but household members. But, like, I walked into people showering in the the gym to talk to them. So, there's that.
Yeah, there's very little privacy in The Sims. It's not realistic. Or maybe it is. Maybe this is how some places are.
I don't think there's many...
That is Our Lady. We are the problem.
Okay, I'm trying
to murder her husband. What are you expecting?
I'm trying to figure out how to move the households, and I'm not very good at that right now. So I don't know. I know we're done with our story, so I don't know if that maybe is a good time to quit, and I can figure that out off stream. That way it's not so boring, because we did achieve our goal. We got her married. So next episode would be killing him off, or moving someone else in, having our affair, and then killing him off.
Want to see us live? Come join us on Twitch. Thanks for watching!